You know that feeling, right? You've spent time crafting the absolute perfect prompt for an AI image generator. The image starts to take shape, and then you see it. The text just looks like a garbled mess, like some alien language that's been thrown in a blender. It's a super common frustration. So what's really going on here? Why is text so incredibly hard for AI? Well, the heart of the issue is this massive technical challenge. Even the most powerful models out there can get the idea of what you want, say a sign that says welcome, but they just fall apart when it comes to actually rendering the pixels for each letter perfectly. It all comes down to this gap. A gap between understanding what to write and knowing how to write it. It's the difference between a concept and its flawless execution. But that gap is finally being closed. And the solution is called GLM Image. It's a new open source model that was built from the ground up to solve this exact problem, to nail text and images, and to follow incredibly complex instructions with a kind of precision we haven't really seen before. Okay, to really get a sense of what this thing can do, just look at this prompt. This is not your average request for a picture of a cake. No, this is asking for a whole magazine layout, a bold title, a specific ingredient list, 4 different instruction boxes, each with its own text and images. It even asks for an info bar at the bottom. This is a massive stress test for any model's ability to follow instructions. And boom, here's the result. It's incredible. The title, Sweet Perfection, is perfectly crisp and clear. All the ingredients are there, listed correctly. Each instruction is right where it should be, rendered flawlessly inside its own box. This isn't just a picture anymore. It's a complete piece of graphic design, executed perfectly from that one single, super complex prompt. So, how in the world does it pull this off? Well, the secret sauce is its really unique 2-part system, a hybrid architecture that completely changes how it builds an image from the ground up. The best way to think about it is like a construction project. First, you have an architect who understands the big picture and designs the blueprint. Then you have a builder who takes that plan and meticulously places every single brick, gets every texture right, and handles all the fine details. GLM Image works exactly the same way. It's a 2-stage process. First up is the architect. This is a massive 9 billion parameter model that reads your prompt. It doesn't actually draw anything just yet. It just creates the master plan, the semantic blueprint. It decides what goes where, then, and only then, does the builder, a 7 billion parameter model, step in. It takes that blueprint and brings it to life, filling in every last pixel with stunning, realistic detail. And this division of labor is absolutely the key. The architect is the brains of the operation. It handles the logic, the layout, and understanding your instructions. The builder is the artist, totally focused on the visual quality, the textures, and making sure the final image is high fidelity. By specializing like this, the model gets the best of both worlds. It can handle complex ideas and beautiful details at the same time. But to get that text absolutely perfect, it has 3 more tricks up its sleeve. First, it has something called a glyph encoder, which is like a dedicated typesetter that focuses only on making sure each individual letter is formed correctly. Second, it uses reinforcement learning, which acts like a tough art critic, constantly giving feedback to make the text more accurate and the image sharper. And finally, it generates a low-resolution sketch of the layout first before scaling it up, which gives it way more control over the final, high-def output. Okay, so the theory sounds great, right? But how does it actually perform when things get tough? Let's see how GLM Image holds up when it's really put under pressure. This here is a classic stress test. It's a single poster that needs a logo, a main headline, and some body text, all with different fonts and very precise placement. You know, this is the kind of prompt that would make most other models just completely fall apart. But GLM Image handles it all, creating one single coherent image. And its command of detail goes way beyond just text. Take a look at its photorealism. Notice the skin texture here, the soft, natural way the light hits the face. It totally avoids that smooth, almost plasticky look that so many AI portraits have. It renders people with a lifelike quality that's just, well, it's really impressive. And hey, the numbers definitely back this up. When you look at benchmark tests for word accuracy, GLM Image is right there at the top. Now, the closed source Seedream 4.5 does edge it out in English, but GLM Image still posts a really strong score. And it takes the #1 spot for accuracy in Chinese. This really cements it as a state-of-the-art model for text, especially in the open source world.
But we're not done yet. GLM Image isn't just about generating images from scratch. That unique architecture also makes it an incredibly powerful tool for editing images that already exist.
This is a perfect example. We start with a woman in a snowy forest. The prompt is simple, just replace the background. And look what it does. The model understands to keep the woman perfectly intact, while seamlessly swapping that forest for a futuristic cityscape. It even matches the lighting and the overall mood. So how does it pull off such a clean edit? Well, it all goes back to that architect and builder design. It can look at the original photo and create a semantic blueprint. It understands this part is a person and this part is the background. Then it just modifies the background part of that blueprint while carefully preserving all the fine details of the person from the original photo. The result is a clean, totally coherent final image. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second and pull this all together. What's the real significance of GLM Image? Why is this such a big step forward? There are a few crucial points here. First, this is an industrial-grade tool that's open source, available for everyone to use and build on. Second, it's setting a whole new standard for how well AI can handle text inside of images. It also shows a much deeper understanding of really complex, knowledge-heavy prompts. And finally, it's this incredibly versatile tool, a single model that's amazing at both creating images and editing them. When you really look at it, this model represents a pretty fundamental shift. We're moving away from AI that just makes pretty pictures and toward AI that can actually understand and structure information visually. This isn't just about better images. It's about building a bridge from simple generation to genuine visual communication. And that could fundamentally change how we all use AI to turn complex ideas into clear, powerful designs.